Here come the confusions. What do I mean by confusions? Well, part of teaching grapheme-phoneme correspondences systematically and explicitly is making sure they really know those patterns, not just that you taught them, but that you go back and make sure that they've really got it. It's just because we've taught it doesn't mean that they really get it. And one of the ways that you can tell they're not getting it is when you see some confusions. Typical confusions for me that I see with my students are S and SH, what and that, or any WHTH word, take and tack because of this CK and the magic E confusion, CVC words with magic E, mop and mope, short E and short I, it, and H and N, if we don't teach printing properly, using lines, top, middle, and bottom lines, and getting them to reach for the sky to make their H's. That's the best way to sort out this confusion, is to show them they got to really reach for that H. And even L and I. So how do we teach these? How do I sort these out? Well, the one thing you have to first make sure is that you've taught it properly, like not properly, but taught it explicitly and systematically. And you've given them lots and 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 lots of practice, printing words, writing words and sentences, and reading decodable text with that spelling correspondence that you're teaching. If you've done all of that, then here are some things that I use. When they read mope, we're reading a little book and they say mope, I might say, how do you know that says mope? And then they have to tell me and figure out what they know about whether that says mope or mop. And then they might say, oh, it says mop. Or, they might notice that the E is not there. So same thing here. How do you know that says take? And then they have to, oh, it doesn't. There's no E here. No, CK, you got to use with a short vowel. And so on. So how do you know is one of my favorite questions. I ask them all the time, even when they're right, so that they're really thinking about spelling as a thinking subject and not just a guessing game. When do we use CK is a really easy way to tackle that confusion. So if they say take, I might say, when do we use CK? And they might say, after a short vowel. Oh, and so that A would say, ah, and so that word is. So you see how I'm always getting them to tell me? They tell me what they know. They tell me when we do and do not use this. They tell me what the most important part of the word is. They tell me whether it says a or a, and then they tell me what the word is. So you're always wanting them to do the work. For that and what, I sometimes do sometimes with confusions, you can talk about how it looks, feels in the mouth, lips, tongue, teeth, and mouth. So this is just me pulling straws out of the air. Is the T sort of looks like the tongue sticking out. So you can pretend that's a tongue sticking out. That. And what is, first of all, it's a wild word. So it's one of our, what do, who, what, where, when, and why all start with? WH. And sometimes they can sort it out that way. And also, if it's just a regular WH word, the W, like when you go, my lips kind of make a W, sometimes that works. You have to go with what works for each student, and they're all going to be different. But my favorite way is to do a minute to win it. So minute to win it games are easy. You just take a bunch of words that they're confusing, the S and SH in this example, sip, ship, sick, sit, and you put a little dot and you time it. So they get 1 minute and you 1, 2, 3, go, put the timer on, and off they go. And how many words can we read in a minute? Put the total up at the top. Next day or next time they do it, they use a different color marker, try to beat their score, and so on. So that's a good example of S and SH. Here's a good example of streams and puffs confusions. Ship, chip, shack, chunk, chuck. Oh, and there's unk and uck. Oh, those get mixed up a lot. Uck, unk, and ung. So whatever it is they're confusing, you can do a minute to win it. Here's another example, tip, time, rid, ride. So if they're getting CVCs mixed up with magic E's, that's a good example. I also will deal with these confusions in their writing. I might say, I see 2 things that could be better. I don't tell them what could be better. And this has been corrected, but you can see underneath there that it was a CK. And if they can't find it, and usually they do, then I just, oh, there's our timer going off. I just tell them, I just scaffold it for them, and I'll say, well, how do you know that says take? And get them to tell you. For short E and short I, the only way I've been able to straighten this out is, first of all, talking. It's hard to talk about how they sound. They sound so similar, but really getting them to blend dip. Oh, can't put W there. Got to put the W there. Wit, wet, ket, hit, and so on. So you're going to do that as fast as you can. So those are just a couple of ways that I like to teach the get the confusion sorted out. The minute to win it's usually work pretty well, but just remember the best way to do this is to make sure they're doing lots of authentic reading and writing with words that they get confused, so they get lots and lots of practice. Sometimes it takes once to tell a student, and other times it takes many, 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 many times. And that is how we sort out confusions. You just got to use your teaching creativity to help them figure out those confusions. And that's it. Ta-da!